Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 86 through 87 of RuYi's Royal Love. Yanwan wakes up. It turns out the poison the Emperor had forced down her throat was not fatal. She's happy at first, thinking that the Emperor has had a change of heart, until she learns the terms of her new living arrangement. She will be force-fed that poison and then treated over and over again until the Emperor decides he's ready to let her die. A clean death would be too easy, and he wants her to suffer. The Emperor goes to see RuYi.
如意啊，朕知道这些日子你不愿见人，也不出门，所以朕就自己来看看你。
He has come to invite her hunting, and though he is so totally, completely in the wrong, I was still surprised to hear him actually sound contrite. Throughout this whole conversation, RuYi refers to herself as 我. 我 in Chinese means I or me, and it's how any normal Chinese person would refer to themselves. In the palace, however, it's different. Everyone from the servants to the emperor has their own way of referring to themselves.
奴婢明白，
本宫明白，
朕明白。
哀家明白。
儿子明白了。
And one person might refer to themselves differently depending on how their rank changes or even who they're talking to. These are all from the same episode.
我真想念永成，额娘都是为了你。你们是拿圣祖8阿哥允祀与本宫的8阿哥比吗？
你去慎言。
臣妾知道。
If you don't speak a language that does this, you can pretty much just try to imagine always speaking in third person. So when you're talking to your mom, you'd say your child thanks you. When talking to a friend, you'd say your friend thanks you. When talking to a servant, you'd say your master thanks you. So back to RuYi. As the empress, she should always refer to herself as 本宫.
本宫是不会屈服的。
本宫啊，你是宫斗剧看太多了吧？
But ever since cutting her hair, she's almost always referred to herself as simply 我. It's as if to say, I'm no longer that position, I'm just me. RuYi says she's too sick to go on the trip, and he says when he returns from hunting, she will be reinstated in all her former glory. She doesn't respond to that, but before he goes, she gives him some last words.
花开花落，自有时。
And as beautiful as it was in its prime, it's now time for this flower to wither and die. After almost 40 years of marriage, this is the last time they see each other. When she's alone, she takes out the portrait of her and the emperor. She cuts herself out of it completely and burns her side of the portrait to ashes. With the emperor out for his hunt with the other concubines, RuYi finally has some peace. One night, she asks Rongpei to sit with her. Rongpei thanks her for saving her, but RuYi says she was lucky to have her.
有你是我的福气。
She reminisces on her first time visiting the palace, her first time seeing the emperor, the day he told her he would always take care of her, the day they were married.
他掀起盖头，看着我的样子。
When he asked her to become his empress and what became of it all in the end.
都好像跟昨日一般，又好像什么都没发生过。
想起姑母、阿若、兰花、新月，也会想起绿云、玉颜、一欢，甚至还有魏延婉。
为了恩宠，为了亲族，赔了这么多名进去，真的值得吗？
She asks Rongpei to get some more tea, and by the time she returns, RuYi is dead. The only thing she leaves behind is a letter to her son. At the Mulan hunting grounds, the emperor gets the news that RuYi is dead. The report says that RuYi stopped taking her medicine and succumbed to her illness. Characteristically, the emperor takes his anger out on the people around him. The emperor returns to the palace to find the funeral already underway. 12th Prince shares with him the letter she wrote to him before she died. She says she's free now.
额娘希望你也自由自在，不必做你不想做的事情。
He finds no letter for himself, but he sees the painting she left with her side ripped out. He brings it to the original artist, ordering him to restore it, but he says he can't. He says the feelings he saw between the two of them, the love in their eyes, is not something he can just replicate. The emperor goes up to his and RuYi's old lookout. As predicted, now that she's dead, all that he can remember are the good times. When he comes back down from the lookout, his resolve is hardened. He tells his servants that RuYi's funeral will be carried out as if she were an imperial noble consort, not an empress. All records and pictures of her should be removed. When the Empress Dowager goes to see him about it, he says she is the one who didn't want to be the empress. Yes, he is still angry with her, but part of it is wanting her to be free, like she said. In a way, this is the last thing he can do for her. Years later, he decides to make 15th Prince the crown prince despite his mother. Speaking of his mother, her servants are still enjoying punishing her for 9 whole years. I know you hate her, but does this not get old at some point? In real life, Yenwon goes on to become the next empress, so I guess this is their way of explaining how she didn't die until 9 years later, but meh. Also, the gray hair in her late 40s, I guess, is because of all the torture, because the emperor should be about 65 here, and his hair still looks great. On this day, Yenwon drinks her poisoned soup as usual, but finds this one is different. This time, it's fatal. After 9 years, I would think she would be happy to finally die. In our final scene, around 30 years after RuYi's death, 15th Prince has taken over, but the emperor is still alive. He has reached his final hair stage, which is really just gray hair. He takes out a small box. Inside is the bit of hair RuYi cut off that night on the boat. He cuts a bit of his hair and places it next to hers. His servant arrives to find him dead. At the end of Legend of Zhenhuan, I feel like there's a bit of pity and at least a small amount of understanding for the emperor as he dies. Not so here. Burn in hell, asshole. And that's it. This is the final episode. But don't fret! Before we finish, some very special awards. The Dum Dum Award is passed down from Yongzheng's third prince to Jia, who is somehow also the recipient of the Smarty Pants Award. Do I have that right, judges? Amazing. How did she manage to be so smart and yet so stupid? My favorite character award to Suo Xin. My heart is full every time I see you. May you and Dr. Zhang live happily ever after. Tied for second place are Rong and Yun Che, who I also love with all my heart. And a special mention to Hai Lan, who I have such a complicated relationship with. I love her, I do, but she sure did make it hard to root for her sometimes. The hardest worker award this time goes to Su Lian. Once again, the recipient is the main baddie's head maid. It makes sense, I suppose. Between the scheming, the lying, the killing, all while dodging your mistress's insane mood swings, you deserve this one, girl. Best Actress award goes to that piece of hair. Just kidding. Who else could it go to but Zhou Shun? You already knew this one was coming. No joke, she was amazing. Also amazing, Wallace Hua. I know because I'm having a really hard time watching him in anything else. The Audacity Award for the one person who just did not know their place, our firecracker May. From the moment she was introduced, I just knew she'd be getting this one. May, you just never did learn to humble yourself. And some new awards. The Purple Rain Award for Best Prince was more difficult than expected as 1st and 5th Prince were so hard to choose between. Similar backgrounds, similar trajectories, almost identical endings, literally down to the last minute revelation by the wife, then the wife getting slapped by the mother. Anyway, in the end, this award has got to go to 5th Prince for sticking to his morals, being clever with his brain if not his heart, and most of all, being a fantastic husband, son, and I'm assuming, father. My favorite type of scene for a specific scene genre that I could never get enough of. And it's Li Yu giving bad news that he's actually secretly really happy about. The pretending to be sorry, the barely hidden smile, the polite way he just stabs them in the heart. I just love it. Give me 30 more scenes just like that, please. And finally, the Hottest in the Office Award. Pretty self-explanatory. We have a 3-time winner here today, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jia once again. She's just got it all. The confidence, the giant hair, that smirk. Jia is definitely as hot as it gets. Yenwon is very pretty as well. And as for our male winner, oh my god. Judges, do I have this right? Ladies and gentlemen, in a stunning upset, the winner is not, as everyone had assumed, my beloved Yun Che, but Creepy Eunuch! Oh my goodness, what is this? He's the worst, I know, but there's something about him that is strangely alluring. The way he sneaks about, that pretend innocence, and especially that smirk when he gets what he wants. You know, I think I'm realizing that maybe I just find smirking hot. And that's the end of RuYi's Royal Love in the Palace. Till next time, thanks for watching.